Tim, first leg defeat against Stalybridge this afternoon, just sum that one up for me.
Tough day, really tough day. I think we're in, if I look back to, we were just talking then, I think back to all the time I've been here, I think this is probably the most difficult time and most frustrating in terms of, so if we go back to kind of a look at the situation in general, so we knew in terms of the group from last year who did amazing things, set records, goals scored, etc. We were very specific in terms of we knew what we wanted to add and we knew what that group needed. So if we rewind, I think we needed a creative player in the 10 who could contribute to goals in this league, goals and assists, someone who, when teams come and sit in against us, which most teams do, and they're hard to break down, we needed someone who could really play in those spaces and twist and turn and play final passes. And we obviously invested a lot in terms of that with Owen. Massive loss for us in terms of that was the first injury, and then I've never really known a run like it since that. I think if you look at the centre backs that we've got at the minute, so we added Dux in, who was our experience at the back, the balance of playing left side. We lost him to an impact injury. Az has been playing through injuries, he's not available at the minute. We then lost Louis Isherwood. Josh is playing, and we would never have said these things going into the games because you don't want to give opposition managers and any advantage and to play on weaknesses, etc. And then if we look at the next game, we're without Aidan, so you can only really carry 5 centre-backs in a group, and that's pretty much all 5 of them. So I think from that point of view, from an injury point of view, you can keep going through the team. Carl Spooner's out injured. I think we're at 9 lads who are really struggling, and I think it's really evident in terms of, so if you look at the performances, we are constantly moving the ball into the final third. We're constantly creating 1v1s on that top line, and we're just not efficient at the minute. We're not creative enough in terms of that. When we create those 4 1v1s high up, whereas last year we were really dominant both out wide and through the middle, and we could dominate people without the ball as well in terms of physicality, but then with the ball 1v1s, we're not getting that at the minute. So I think there's a lot, even though it might not seem it, there's a lot of positives in the performances. There's a lot of things we're doing really, really well, but it's frustrating to consistently move the ball into the final third, into situations where we were really dynamic and creative last year. And we're constantly either not being really dynamic, not creating, or we're going backwards. So I think there's work to do from a coaching point of view. Like I said, we knew from the group what we needed to add, and if you look, I think there was 8 today, 8 last week of the starting 11 who played last season. So the group did amazing things. They deserve the opportunity to be able to play in this league, but we're ultimately at that top end of the pitch. There's no doubt about it. We're really struggling at the minute.
Team selection today, I guess those injuries that you mentioned played a heck of a lot of a part in who you had available for selections today, maybe more than who you would have wanted to play the game today.
Yeah, I'm just being open and honest. It's really difficult because we've come in and we've lost Lou in the warm-up because he's just not, he couldn't get through it. He's tweaked his hamstring. Josh shouldn't really have played. He's playing through 2 injuries at the minute. So then you're thinking, do we change the system? And then how do you match those personalities and identities with each other? And I actually thought we played really well, if I'm being honest. I thought we completely dominated the game. You've got to be better in terms of defending those crosses, but the amount of chances we created, you have to be winning games like that. We were really dominant. Like I said, we constantly move the ball into our creative players, and you just, at the minute, you feel like when we're there, we're not going to score. So it's frustrating from that point of view, but look, when you go through difficult times, whether it's football, work, business, whatever it is, I think there's 2 ways that certainly as staff we deal with it, and first way is to work harder. So we've got 4 sessions coming up now before the next game. Instead of staying up till 1 in the morning planning sessions and video, we stay up later, we work even harder. And then the second way is being positive. So it's not being negative with players, it's making them believe that they're the best version of themselves, and it's how we do that in training and with positivity. So look, we've got work to do. We're very confident in the long term, but there's no doubt we need to add a couple in as well in that top line. There's no doubt about it.
Roberto Gomez has missed both games over the bank holiday weekend. Is he another player that's struggling at the minute?
Yeah, he's got a niggle at the minute as well. Yeah.
And looking at that squad, as you mentioned, you could potentially look to bring players in, but I guess you can't really doubt the group overall, and you've sort of, as you say, got to try and remain as positive as you can?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I could talk for 20 minutes about the positives that the group are doing. If we weren't playing good football, if we weren't moving the ball into the final third, there's a lot of areas in previous scenarios where we've looked at, particularly last season, where we weren't happy with it. But like I said at the start, it may not feel it. There's a lot of really good work going on. It's nowhere near as far away as it feels. It's our first league defeat since, I think, January. This is a group that went 15 games unbeaten at the end of the season and won a third of the games, didn't concede a goal last 9 games. But ultimately, when you step up in levels, there's an added physicality and there's an added mentality. And like I said, we definitely need a bit of help, but we've got a lot of work to do in terms of training now. So we've not had back-to-back sessions since pre-season. That's on me in terms of the coaching side. That's on me to be able to, and the staff to be able to be more creative on that top line and work some movements and patterns. And look, like I said, we know how to go about this. We've faced difficult scenarios before in the past. We'll do it with positivity and we'll do it with hard work.
The next game does feel a long way off in terms of how the season has started. So I guess, as you say there, that training, those 4 sessions are going to be absolutely pivotal going into that FA Trophy game against Wythenshawe. Yeah,
massive. I mean, first of all, we're just hoping that the 13 days gives us time to get some players back. That's the first key priority, which will help us. As much as you want to coach on working things in training and video work, ultimately we need some players back. You've seen on the 2 goals we conceded today, crosses poor. We've got to be better in our box in terms of defending that. So, look, it'll help with getting lads back. We are depleted at the minute, but like I said, we'll keep working.
And I think for your time, Tim.